What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 90s First Podcasting Network. My name is Mike, and alongside my co-host Joe, we take a look at some 90s content that we just can't stop watching. Join us on our flagship show, the 90s First Show. We look at some 90s content that Joe and I are watching, as well as some current stuff, and we end it with a 90s trivia contest. Or join us on Test Your Might, a video game debate show where we battle it out on the current news. Joe hosts as our good buddy Cicero and I try to get the high ground and go 1000 IQ against each other. If you would like to connect with us, we are on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at the 90s First. And finally, if you would like to support us monetarily, we have a Patreon. Head on over to patreon.com/the90sfirst to show general support for as little as $1 a month. So whether you're listening to the 90s First Show or Test Your Might, Joe and I would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We hope that you have a blessed day.
Okay, guys, we're back. Another episode of Test Your Might, and guess who's back to help me not mess up? It's Mike. But we also have special guest, Rubber Duck, a.k.a. Justin, back with us. Justin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great today.
All right. What was that?
That was a rubber duck.
Was that a rubber duck? Oh, gosh, that's fantastic. For the people watching on YouTube, you already know, but for our listeners, Justin, a.k.a. Rubber Duck, just held up a tiny duck and then a giant golden duck, which was awesome. And I did not know that was happening. So thank you for that. All right. Well, welcome back to Test Your Might, our weekly video game debate show. Obviously, I am here. Jelly, we have Mike here back. He was gone last week. And we have Justin here. Are you guys ready for a pretty epic battle later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside baseball, us three, we're the best of friends, and we have a little small Facebook chat, and Justin's been talking some smack for months. So I'm ready to lay the beat down today.
The gauntlet is getting laid. All right.
Just a little bit. Yeah, just a little.
All right. So if you guys are listening or watching either one, please leave us a review on Apple, iTunes, podcast, whatever the heck their segment thing is called, but review it and let us know how we're doing so that we can make it better for you guys, the listeners, the people who are tuning in and checking us out and hopefully enjoying our content. Hopefully, but you got to let us know. So leave us a review, rate us, and let us know how we're doing. For those who want to go the extra mile, we do have a way to support us. You can find us on Patreon at the 90s First, 90s First Podcast. But you don't even have to support us to check out the articles that Mike has been writing. He's written how many, Mike?
I got 2 up on the site recently. So I wrote on Mass Effect, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I also wrote a review on the Friends reunion on HBO Max. And coming Tuesday, I'll have a review of the full Disney Plus series Mighty Ducks Game Changer. So I'll have a review on there for the full series. So
nice. And you have a Tony Hawk one too as well, right? I remember.
Yeah, that one.
Pretty
that
good.
that was a long one. Long time ago, rather, is what I'm saying. But yeah, that actually had like 45 reads. And so I'm very blessed. So anybody listening to this who read that, thank you. Means a lot. That was a good article to write. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. So, check out our Patreon. There's articles there for you to check out that Mike has written. I have not written any. You wouldn't want to read them if I did. So let's be real here. I'm not a good writer. I can use words okay when they're coming out of my mouth. If I try and put them down on paper, it's way worse. And I trip over my words enough while talking. So words are hard. All right. We are going to continue our segment. The question of the day series rolls along with our favorite game from each generation. This is, and we're talking about the Switch and handheld consoles. So, Mike, shooting this one to you first, then Justin, we'll check out your answers.
Yeah, so for the Switch, it's very hard. I think I'm going to choose one game, but I'm going to do a special shout out to the other. The reason why the other is not the one is because it's Into the Breach, and Into the Breach actually started on PC. So basically, like this 2D tactical, not RTS, sorry, turn-based strategy game, and I love it. It's also a roguelike as well, so if you die, you start all over. It's a super fun game. Really enjoy it. So special shout out to that. But to me, it is Super Mario Odyssey. I had the most fun playing that game. Super accessible, super fun, and it is in my opinion the quintessential Mario. I think it's the best Mario game, 3D Mario game ever made. So that's my Switch choice. As far as handheld goes, Pokemon Soul Silver. It has to be Soul Silver. Silver is my favorite Pokemon game of all time, but Soul Silver took it to the next level with some updated graphics and just more to do. Pokemon Soul Silver, amazing.
All right, Justin, favorite Switch game and handheld.
Switch is hard. Odyssey was very good. I actually 100%ed it. It was great. I do agree with that. Jelly, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to go with Breath of the Wild.
I'm just gonna say the same thing, so that's fine.
Yeah, okay. It was a fantastic game. Did have a few gripes, breaking weapons, that kind of stuff. But for the most part, it was fantastic. The story caught me, and visually it was a great game for the Switch. It was the first game I played on the Switch, and it was the reason I bought it, really.
All right. What about handheld other than Switch?
Handheld other than Switch. I'm going to go way back to one of the first games I played on handheld. And that's going to be the original Tetris on the Game Boy. The original Game Boy. The gray giant block Game Boy.
Dude,
that was a great system.
Just like that big.
And
it's like the size of my water bottle.
Green screen, no backlighting. It was
way before backlight.
It was old school. All you had was a D-pad and 2 buttons, and that's all you needed. And Tetris got me hooked on whenever you're sitting, just want to play a quick game.
Yeah.
All the way.
It's my ringtone. That's how good of a game it is. I have had Tetris as my ringtone since I got my new phone.
Yeah.
It is fantastic.
It's also the best. I think it's the best-selling game of all time. I think it's up there.
Really?
I think it's one of the. I think Fortnite might have knocked it out.
Well, no, I think Minecraft would have.
Or Minecraft, yeah.
Fortnite's free, buddy.
It still counts.
It's still best selling.
They still put it in the list. But there's beta was free and the multiplayer is free, but the other one wasn't. Besides the point, we're getting off track here. My favorite Switch game is obviously Zelda Breath of the Wild. As our listeners know, Zelda is my favorite series of all time. So no shock that Zelda Breath of the Wild is going to be my favorite game. I don't mind the breaking weapon system. I don't mind really anything about the game. I really love the game. There's so many cool things, and I spend a lot of time on YouTube, as both these guys can attest to. And I watch some of the hidden hacks of the game just to find out things that other people are learning by continuing to play way after the game is over. Mm-hmm. And this game offers so much. There's so much depth in these little things that you didn't know. There's a way to swim differently that shouts back to Ocarina of Time. If you Z, hold, and move, it'll do the classic Ocarina of Time's like side swim.
Well.
So there's like these cool things. So yeah, Zelda Breath of the Wild is my number one on Switch. If I'm going to handheld, Mike already picked a Pokemon game, so I'm not going to do that, but
you can though.
I'll say
okay.
I could, but I played another one on handheld that maybe rivaled Pokemon for how much I played it, and that was Golden Sun.
Oh, okay.
It was a turn-based strategy. It was like Final Fantasy IV Game Boy almost, and it was super fun. Played the heck out of it. I think I played it, 10 times through probably, and it was a great game. I'm a big Final Fantasy nerd, so it was Final Fantasy on Game Boy. just called Golden Sun. And I think I still have my copy in my Game Boy Advance.
There you go. Yeah, Golden Sun. There's a lot of high praises for Golden Sun.
It was a great game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Let's move on to what we have been playing. And Justin, I'm going straight to you for this one. What have you been playing lately?
Jelly, you're not gonna like this one either, but I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil.
I mean, if you enjoy it.
I am actually. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I've beaten it 5 times. Resident Evil 8.
Holy moly.
One of the playthroughs was a speed run at 2 hours and 2 minutes, and
for the whole game?
The whole game, 2 hours and 2 minutes.
What?
I've been destroying it. So I did set it down recently. I beat 7, and then I picked up 8 about a week after it released. Got through it, and now I've just been relaxing and taking a break from it for a little while.
You played in VR once, didn't you?
I did. I have PSVR as well, and I've tried it in 7 in that, but I did not play 8 in VR. I don't think
they
8
don't
is
have
out
it.
in VR.
They don't have it.
It doesn't. Okay.
I've just been playing on the Series X and beating the crap out of the game.
Dang.
Yeah, they
right.
really I was reading that they really they want people to speedrun it because there's so many speedrunning achievements, which is really cool because there's not really a game that I feel has been built for speedrunning narratively, at least,
Yeah, the game does have an achievement for speedrunning. It is you beat the game in 4 hours, and when I hit half that time, I was like, I'm gonna take a break for a little while.
I definitely want to get to it, but there's something.
It's
else.
Fantastic. Yeah.
What is it, Mike? What have you been playing? What's getting in the way of your Resident Evil time? Let's just go for it. It's not Apex.
How has it been affecting you?
I've been playing
massively.
Been playing it every day. It's just
thanks for setting me up for that one, Duck.
Been stopping in and out, checking it out, and Solitaire has just been a very good game.
That game is legendary.
Yeah, it is. No, I've been playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I never played a Mass Effect trilogy before, so this is, man, I did write an article about the 4 reasons that I believe playing Mass Effect now is better than the original. So definitely go check that out on the Patreon. But I will. This is probably one of the best sci-fi stories in any medium that you will ever play. It is. Play, read, watch. It is so good. It's so fun. It's like playing an interactive Star Trek game, but it's just a phenomenal story. And then the small gameplay enhancements, the slight changes that they made to Mass Effect 1 has made it so much more of a bearable game to play. I booted up the original 2007 back in 2019, and dude, it's so bad, it's so clunky. But they changed it enough where it feels okay. And then as well as just playing it, also been mostly I switch every once in a while to my 1080p monitor right here that I'm staring at now to play, but I've been mostly playing on my 4K HDR, and the game just looks beautiful. So for a 2007 game, I'm having a blast, and I've played nothing else except for today. My son and I are playing through the 2015 reboot of Ratchet and Clank. So
oh, nice.
Yeah, me and him are booting it up on the PlayStation 4, and he's got he plays with a Link controller. He's got a little controller that's a Link controller and Switch controller. It's not hooked up or anything. And then he's fake playing and
plays alongside.
Yeah, exactly.
The little brother, I got you.
But yeah, it's Ratchet and Clank 2015 is pretty fun. It's just a simple 3D platformer. I won't get to play the new Ratchet and Clank because I'm probably not going to be getting a PS5, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Will anybody be getting a PS5 though?
Apparently not. Apparently not.
Okay, I've hit Sony hard enough on here. What have I been playing? I've been playing. As you all know, Lego Jurassic Park, exactly. My son and I
Nice.
were playing Lego Jurassic Park actually just yesterday, and that game is super fun. They made the movie
Yep.
into a game, and it has almost all of the same dialogue. It follows almost all of the same plot points. It is so good. They obviously make it way more PG than what Jurassic Park is, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Start with that, Jelly, and then move to the movies.
Oh no, we've been watching movies for years.
I know.
It's way too late. But no, it's super good. And then as always, Apex. I'm huge in Apex Legends. There's an event going on that I'm behind in because I've been working this last week at my actual job, which I'm a custodian at a high school. Has put me way behind on my gaming, obviously, because that takes precedence. Not real life stuff, but gaming. So there's an event going on that I am super far behind in, that I have 1 day and like 12 hours left to finish. So I'll be playing Apex this evening, most likely. Looking forward to that.
I also haven't played since we played last. I've been putting Apex down for a brief minute here.
So the day that Mass Effect Legendary Edition came out, the day after, I played a couple rounds with a friend of the show, Josh Collins. And after that, I haven't touched Apex. So just Mass Effect. That's all I play.
I jumped in and bought the skins, and then I got out. That's what I did recently. That's it. Like, I got the cheetah skin and all, the new skin packs. That's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully the OG squad will boot Apex back up again and we can all hang out and play in there. But for now, we're moving on to the news. And there's been a bit since we've last talked, especially the three of us. You guys ready to dive in?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do
it. Hearkening back to the Switch, which we were just talking about, there are 4K Switch rumors ramping up. So potentially the new console could be coming out as early as this year in September, which is huge because that is nigh on 4 months? No, less than, because it's the 30th as we're recording. So it's almost June, meaning 3 months away potentially from seeing 4K Switch. Thoughts? And Mike, we'll go to you first and then shoot over to Justin.
Yeah, it was just a natural thing. I think Switch had to do something to I don't know, like, I didn't necessarily the Switch is such a niche thing. It's so cool. The fact that you could just play it handheld and then hook it up to your TV as well, that's amazing. But like, to have 4K support, I think it was just a natural thing. I think that's the only real step that they need to take to I think compete with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. It's not going to hit, obviously, their power and their loading times, but Nintendo has never needed that. So I really think the only true thing that they need to do to somewhat still be in the competition, at least, is keep the Switch what it is. Like, don't pull a Wii to a Wii U type situation. Just keep the Switch what it is, but create a 4K version. And to have a 4K dock that you could set up on your 4K TV and play Breath of the Wild in 4K, an already looking beautiful game, but like with 4K, it's not going to run ray tracing or anything like that. At least I don't suspect. But at least 4K, like with some HDR, like, yeah, for sure, sign me up. I think that's just a brilliant move from Nintendo because they have the catalog to back it up. They, you don't need to do much with it. So, yeah.
Justin,
I completely agree. Yeah, I completely agree. What I think is that the Switch doesn't need to change, like you said, but I think they're trying to kind of like morph it into something that's going to be a prolonged system. Maybe make room for a streaming service with better quality games available. Hint, hint. But I think that honestly, with the 4K, the only thing that it's really going to change is the dock, and most people play the Switch the way it's meant to be played on the handheld. And honestly, I don't know if it's going to really affect me that much because I like to play in handheld as well. But if they are able to do something to change it, fix the Joy-Con drift. That's the only thing that I worry about. That drift on the Joy-Cons. fix that, make it a Pro, add $100. It's gonna sell. It's Nintendo. They've got a great catalog as well. It's really just prolonging the life of the Switch and making it more future safe.
I just don't see the need for me to upgrade, like, I think because like I do play it handheld a lot of the time as well, and I'm okay with the 1080, especially on Nintendo. Like, if I want to play a beefed up like ray tracing game, like I'm just gonna boot it out on my Series X, but like the new Switch will have a 1080p screen as well on the handheld side, so that'll be good. So yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be a good update, a well-needed one. So,
There's two gripes that I have with the Switch. One is that in handheld mode, for me, and I know this isn't for everyone, but for me, it's too small. I want it to be a little bit bigger. I want more meat. I know you can buy the grips and the stupid things. I think they should come like that. I think the Joy-Cons, how they are they're meant to be the way they are, so you can play 2-player, but they're terrible. They're not useful.
No,
So they need to go all in and make them ergonomic to playing handheld, kind of like they did with the Lite, even though the Lite could have been way better. So that's my first gripe, is that Joy-Cons need improvement and need to be able to like ergonomically handheld. And then my second would be, which I think they'll address, but give it more power. Make it just a little bit wider, a little bit deeper, give it a bigger battery, and then give it a little more performance. They can add a bigger fan, better cooling, keep it running perfectly, especially if they update the screen to a 1080.
Yeah, they'll have to update the power if they're going to switch it to a 1080 screen. So,
but yeah, I want to see just a little bit thicker. And like I said, I got big hands. Like, I'm a bigger person. Not everyone is big, but I don't think that they would hurt their market if they increase the size by 7 millimeters, and that would be considerable for battery and fan and storage and screen, speakers. All those improvements could be made with a half a centimeter space. 5 millimeters, regardless, enough. 7 millimeters I think is a fair amount, so I'd like to see that. And
I actually I do oftentimes. I don't use a Joy-Con. I oftentimes have it in handheld on the kickstand, and then I'm just using this with it. I have it on a table or something like that. So that's how I usually run the Switch. Because I agree, my hands cramp after like 30 minutes of playing on those Joy-Cons in handheld mode. It's really So I concur, Jilly.
Yeah, I'd love to see that change. That'd be huge. All right, on to the next topic, though. Horizon Forbidden West was announced.
It was already announced, but there's gameplay.
More news, gameplay trailer. I have not had a PlayStation since PlayStation 3. So I have not been in on anything PlayStation. But Mike, I know that you were into this one, so tell me more.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. It has a great gameplay loop. It's kind of like a little bit of the Assassin's Creeds of the world. Like, it's got certain areas that you have to unlock by doing one of those towers, basically, kind of like Breath of the Wild too. But it's robot dinosaurs. You're fighting robot dinosaurs, and also with a bow and arrow. Any game with a bow and arrow, like, just sign me up. So like Horizon Zero Dawn was super fun. I haven't beaten it yet, but it's definitely on my list to beat, because the first like 10-15 or so hours that I have played, I've had just a blast with it. To see this gameplay trailer, like, man, first and foremost, I have no idea how my PS4 is going to run it. But it's coming out for PS4, so it's going to have to, because I'm going to be playing it there, because, man, it just looks so cool. They added some new mechanics. They have a hang glider, like Breath of the Wild as well. They also have super moves, which is, you're in the middle of combat, and then you charge up a super move now, and you just... There's different sets of super moves that you could do, which is really cool. Kind of like a finisher type deal. And Alloy looks, the graphics look amazing. The one part that caught my eye in the trailer the most was underwater. Holy cow. I don't know if you saw that, but the underwater scenes were brilliant. It was, I was floored. Anyway, looks fun.
And Justin, you have a PlayStation. Are you going to play it?
If I get around to the original, which I own, yes. You know how it is. It's hard to find time, but
especially when you're playing through a certain game 5 times.
Yes, that is true. But like, if I hear good things about the first, obviously, and if they're making a second, obviously you're gonna have to give it a shot, and I'll be picking it up for sure.
All right. Well, cool, man. Takes us right into rapid fire. You guys ready? We're gonna blaze through this.
Rapid fire.
Oh my! He's on fire!
Big breath. And Mass Effect's Normandy was an unlockable ship in No Man's Sky. Mike, how do you feel about it?
Dude, that, like, I don't play No Man's Sky, but such a cool crossover. Like, seriously, just like perfect. And I heard that it was definitely a chore to unlock. There was a lot of missions that you had to do in order to unlock it. And listeners, if when this episode is out, you're listening to this on Tuesday the 1st, you can no longer get the Normandy. It was a timed exclusive, so that's it is done as of this recording on the 30th. So
dang.
Yeah, so hopefully, if you were really into No Man's Sky, that you got it. But man, such a cool crossover.
Nice. All right. Injustice: Gods Among Us is getting an animated movie by Warner Bros. Justin, you stoked?
I am, actually. I just hope that they cast some mocap on Tom Welling for Superman. He did play a role in one episode of, I think it was Catwoman on the CW.
Okay.
But if they mocap him in, I know it's an animated film, and there should be a trailer in the Batman new animated film coming out. But Injustice has a great story, and I really hope they do it justice.
All
no
right.
pun intended.
Pun absolutely intended. PlayStation is developing AI agents that will play games with you. Mike, how do you feel about AI coming into your games?
So, this would have been really cool with Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Oh my goodness, the characters that were with me when you're playing single player, they are the dumbest. they just get hit and die. Anyway, that's my complaint about that game. No, this will be interesting. Obviously, we already have bots and stuff like that, to play against. But this is like something that would create a co-op experience that they're seeking. So I don't know what that looks like. I mean, to me, I say go find a friend and just play it in real life.
I love that idea.
But for those who just want to experience it with a secondary player, maybe this will be cool. Who knows? I think AI has a long time to. Has a long way to go to get to where it would be like a human is playing with you. So,
agreed. All right, this one's near and dear to my heart. Overwatch is potentially getting a ping system similar to Apex Legends. Justin, how do you feel about it?
I feel like that is a very good idea. I think this ping system that Apex started its game with should be implicated in every single game into the future. This allows players to not have to worry about having a headset. This allows people that are shy and don't want to talk on a headset to be able to communicate with their team and let them know what's going on. It is something that should be universal across the gaming.
Absolutely. And language barriers. I've run into that before. And you know what isn't a language barrier? The ping system. It works.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Definitely.
All right. Listeners, that has been it for our news and rapid fire. We're going right into it. Justin, Mike, are you ready?
Yes.
Oh, I'm ready.
That was a real question, yeah.
No, not ready.
The real question is Mike ready?
You might get me. I'm really tired, so who knows?
Oh, excuses already.
All right. Gentlemen, it is time for
Test your might.
That was the insert right there. Boom. PlayStation is expanding more into mobile games and apps. What PlayStation franchise would be the best for a mobile game? And Justin,
Mike
you're a
can go
guest.
first.
Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go second, yeah.
All right, Mike. What PlayStation franchise would be best for a mobile game?
Oh man, Little Big Planet. Little Big Planet, obviously. Yeah, I mean, so they recently came out with Sackboy, which was like a PS5 exclusive. It was a platformer, but really, I think Little Big Planet is pretty ripe for a mobile experience. I remember playing Little Big Planet on the PlayStation 3 when it came out, and just the creativity that is similar to Scribblenauts, which Scribblenauts was a game that is already on handheld, where you could... All right, because Jelly's face is weird, Scribblenauts, you can type in something and then it actually makes it. So you could type in like Zeus and it will make the god Zeus in the game to solve a puzzle. Okay, there you go.
Family-friendly words.
Yes.
Yeah.
Family-friendly words, that's true. So... yeah, I think Little Big Planet is the same. Little Big Planet had fantastic levels, creator suite that gave them the ability, gave people to create community levels that you could just download and play. And basically, it's just a puzzle platformer that had a lot of charm. You have Sackboy, who's very charming as well, who's the main character. And yeah, Little Big Planet would be good. There are games that are good on mobile, such as Scribblenaut, as well as Super Mario Maker is on the Switch. That's kind of mobile. You could do that as well. Give Little Big Planet more life on the mobile games. So,
all right, Justin, what PlayStation franchise do you think would be best for a mobile game?
I also did play Little Big Planet on the PS3. And I did not pick that, though. I'm going to go back to way back when I used to have a PlayStation Portable on my eighth grade birthday. And a game came out for it a few years after I got it. And it quickly went to the top of the charts. Because for a mobile experience, when you're in between something and you want a quick gameplay, you don't have to go through a whole level. You just play a quick game, put it down, and then come back to it later. That would have been Gran Turismo. The racing game. One of the top selling games on the PlayStation with real cars from the real world. Not made up cars, not like most of the racing games take their cars and rename them things. These were authentic cars and authentic engines, sound effects, and it could be a quick little mobile game that you can race a car, play a race, put it down, go back to work, or do whatever you need to do. Quick in and out gameplay. That would be the way to go.
Okay.
So Gran Turismo is a simulation game, and I just don't think that mobile experience is good for a simulation type racing game where you're trying to be precise. You're trying to, execute those turns on, they're tight turns as well. Those turns on short tracks and stuff like that. Like Gran Turismo is designed to be the Forza Motorsport, of the PlayStation. It's supposed to be simulation. It's not supposed to be the arcadey version of like Forza Horizon or something like that, or even a Need for Speed. That is definitely a lot easier and more palpable on a mobile phone when you're using touch controls. Not everybody has connection for a controller to get to Bluetooth and stuff like that. So I don't know if it will be the best option. Little Big Planet, on the other hand, like it just reeks of mobile potential because like you have that creative suite of creating 2D levels, and it has the similar vein of like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, just like so much customization into the level that Little Big Planet would be perfect. You have just mechanics. The jumping is floaty, and that will help with the touch controls and stuff like that. It'd be a perfect platformer for the mobile, and to add that online community ability with creative levels, I think it would work.
Justin, you want to hit back on that?
Oh, of course. Honestly, You did have a good point. You know, it is about precision. It is about being concrete with your choice of driving on a curve, going left and right, pushing a gas pedal, pushing a brake pedal. But a lot more struggle comes into 3D platforming on a mobile device, with an easy fall to ruin your entire gameplay experience. When it comes to racing games, they're one of the top played games on mobile devices already. And they're quick to make money for the companies creating them, and they're quick to continue making money by adding new content.
I mean, but racing, you have like Mario Kart and stuff on there, and you have just like more arcadey versions. And plus, Little Big Planet, if I remember correctly, is just a 3D game on a 2D plane, though. So it still has the 2D element to it, and that would just be very simple just to completely go 2D, and it would be, I think it would work. So.
All right,
I will leave it up to the judge.
I've heard enough. I really enjoyed both your pitches. Mike, yours was very detailed. I enjoyed that about it. Duck, everyone loves a racing game. You're not wrong. I think because Mike hit back harder on the racing game and provided a little bit more, I'm going to give him the win. And we've got Asphalt on mobile. And it'd be super hard to compete with that. I know it wasn't a point brought up, but it's something I'm thinking about. Little Big Planet, I think, is a perfect game to port on a mobile. I played it. I'm familiar with it. I have also played Gran Turismo. I'm familiar with it. That one feels like it would be a lot harder to get onto mobile and then play on mobile. Whereas Little Big Planet, fun for everyone, fun for the family, fun for your kids. I think that's the one. I'm going with that one.
I understand. Yeah.
On to the next one. Now, Valve, basically Steam, is reportedly coming out with a handheld device similar to the Switch. Do you believe this will actually compete with the Switch or not? Now, Mike won the last one, so Justin, you get to start on this one. Do you believe it will or will not compete with the Switch?
Will. I think it will.
All right. Give me more on it.
You know, a lot of gaming consoles have tried to make these mobile scenes, but I think the PC Steam scene is going to make something that they know gamers are going to be able to use. They're going to make something, a handheld device that allows gamers to take a portable console on the go with good graphics and their entire Steam libraries fresh out the box to go. They don't have to go and buy new games. They just log into your Steam account, download the game they want to play, and boom, on the mobile, going wherever you want to go without lugging a giant box PC or a laptop with. And honestly, even with the 4K or the 1080p handheld Switch coming out, I don't think it's going to stand up to this new console that's able to run all these games with high graphics and high power that Steam is able to create.
All right, Mike. That means you're stuck with it can't compete. Tell me why.
Yeah. You said it has a lot of games coming to the Steam portable console, whatever it's called. Steam portable. Said it has a lot of games, but let me tell you, it doesn't have Mario. It doesn't have Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have Luigi's Mansion. I love Luigi's Mansion, so I'm going to throw it in there, listeners. It doesn't have Fire Emblem. You know, it's not going to have the pantheon of just first-party classics that the Switch will have. Switch will come out with a new Mario. Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out. There's got to be another Fire Emblem. You know these things are being made. Pokemon is now on the Switch. Like, there's going to be competition there for sure. Just because, yeah, you're right. Steam, you know, you could just travel with your Steam library and just boot it up on that portable console. But you are also missing out on some classic games at what I believe would probably be maybe half, maybe even third of the cost. We're talking the Switch is at $300. Switch Lite is at $200. You mean to tell me that a portable Steam machine is going to get down to that price? I just don't see it happening. I think Switch will be better in the long run.
You know, funny thing is, you said there would be some competition there. which kind of lost your own argument. But on the other note, the first party titles, yes, you'll have those. You'll have the Nintendo collection of games and their franchises. But on the Steam, you'll have so many games for the price that you won't have to worry about having a Switch in your back pocket on the other side that you can play whenever you want, and have all these games, including the new releases that aren't on Nintendo, the non-family friendly games, the ones for adults, the ones for gamers that have been gaming on PCs since they were a little kid. They're going to have that entire library for the price on the go. Whenever they want to boot up a game that they've been playing their entire lives, or something new that just came out and just hit Steam, they can download it and have it ready for them in their hands. They won't have to go home, set up it on a docking station. They'll be able to play it in good quality on the go, on the screen provided.
Yeah, but so
Final thoughts?
Like you're saying that, I said that it will compete. Yeah, it's going to compete initially, but I'm saying, will it actually supersede the Switch? Will it actually compete in the long run? I don't think that answer is yes, because not only do you have that first party lineup with the Marios and the Zeldas of the world, but on top of it, every time there's a game that is on Steam, majority of the time it finds its way on the Switch anyway. I mean, you look at some of the top Steam games from last year, like Game of the Year quality, like Hades on the Switch. All these, there's a lot of games that are going to make their way to the Switch, and on top of it, you have Mario and Zelda. That just blows it out of the water.
Oh.
And we're gonna be getting a 4K version soon with a 1080p screen. I don't think Valve is going to be able to get a 4K screen. And plus, if it is a 4K screen on a small platform like that, it's gonna be like $500 to $800. The Switch is way cheaper.
I agree completely. I agree. The difference is the handheld ability of just booting up those games whenever you want, right? The ones that are on the top Steam library right now, and the ones that Steam are looking for a portable console to put on, they're going to have their own console to do that, which means Switch won't be getting those games anymore. Only Steam will have those games on the portable console. So anyone that wants to play those games on the top Steam library are going to have to go to the Valve handheld or the Switch, whatever, the Steam mobile, whatever it's called. They're going to have to go there from that point forward. So I think that with the cost, it's worth it because of the game library that you're carrying along with it. You're able to take all that stuff on the go, portable, and I know myself, I have 100 plus games in my Steam library, ready to go day one. It's like having a Game Pass on the go already when it launches.
So Justin, let me ask you a question. That Steam library, is every game you have in your Steam library made by Valve?
No, it's not. But the difference is Steam knows that it's going to be made by Valve, sure, which is Half-Life and all the roots of Steam.
Yeah.
The beginning of the tree that they've blossomed into. But they're going to easily be cut deals to get all that Steam library there.
But that library right there is a publisher choice. The publisher is going to decide where they put the game. So think of your 150 games or whatnot, whatever you have on there. The publishers are going to decide if it goes to Steam and Switch. And so therefore, Steam's not going to be able to choose what games are going to be exclusive to their portable console.
All right. Cutting in here. Mike, I liked your argument. Doug knocked it down. He took the W on this one. Now, he had it with the amount of games, the fact that you already said it would compete, and the fact that you acknowledged that competition was going to happen, and maybe not in the long run, but the fact that there is going to be competition finally in the space is a win for the point.
Right.
So, Duck, Valve will have competition in this space. Borderlands 3 was prime to allow full crossplay. So, 2K Games went and said, nah, PlayStation not getting it. No crossplay. PlayStation support has been pulled. PlayStation support, words are hard, has been pulled. The rumor being that that Borderlands publisher pulled it and not PlayStation. So, who do you think did it? Do you think 2K said PlayStation can't have it? Or do you think PlayStation said, we don't want it? Now, Mike, you lost the last round. So, did 2K or did PlayStation make the call?
So, I know sometimes, like, all three of us, even Cicero, Cicero on the show, we're pretty much,
Shout
are
out.
like more into Xbox. Obviously, PlayStation definitely has the exclusives. That's for sure. But we are more of an Xbox. So we bag on PlayStation a little bit. That's for sure. And they made some questionable decisions recently with the launch of the PS5 and just their customer, their customer relations that, question definitely. But I'm going to hold off my bag on them today because I do believe that it was the publisher. I believe it was 2K. And here's my reasoning. The biggest key to this is actually not even part of the story. The biggest key is part of Apple versus Epic, the lawsuit happening right now in courts. Mm-hmm. There was a document that was released that Fortnite, so Epic Games, had to pay PlayStation millions of dollars to have cross-play support on the PlayStation platform. So, I mean, Fortnite has the money, obviously, to do that. But they actually had to pay PlayStation. So PlayStation is bartering their console right now as a, hey, if you want cross-platform, you're going to have to pay us. So maybe this does turn into a bag of PlayStation like that, just whatever. That's dumb. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But 2K, although they are rich, although they are big, and we're talking about Take-Two as well, like Take-Two owns 2K, owns Rockstar, like they are big. But I think it might have been their choice because they didn't want to pay Sony the money to get crossplay on their platform.
All right. Mike says 2K pulled it. Justin, obviously you're saying PlayStation said, not today. What makes you think that?
Not today.
Not today. All right. I actually wanted Sony on this one because I believe it is Sony that is stopping this from happening. Back in 2018, there was a Fortnite debacle where Sony cut off crossplay for Fortnite, and players were outraged about it. Finally, they turned it around. We had Minecraft and Rocket League both being crossplay on Nintendo and Xbox, and Sony just started doing it afterwards. They said no, and then they started doing it. Now you can sign into an Xbox profile on Microsoft on a PlayStation console now through Minecraft. Sony has the power to say no. Pay me money, sure, but it's their call in the long run. Who pays who and how much money needs to be paid to put your game on our system. If you want crossplay, Sony's the one making the money. So I think Sony did say, oh, maybe 2K doesn't have enough money. Maybe they don't want to pay us. Sony's the one making that call. They're the one putting the stop to the crossplay.
Yeah, I mean,
Mike?
they could set a limit to how much they want for the crossplay, but ultimately 2K is like, we're just not going to deal with you, and that's kind of where I think this is maybe a potential where 2K is just throwing it out there that like we're just not going to play your hardball. Like we're just sick of this hardball, and so like 2K just pulled it. We're not going to pay you millions of dollars like Fortnite did. Fortnite's going to do that, right? Fortnite definitely has the money for sure. So does 2K. So does Take-Two. But like Fortnite's going to do that mainly because Fortnite is the biggest game in the world. Like Borderlands 3 ain't no Fortnite. Like they're like Take-Two is not going to spend the money because it's just Borderlands 3. Like, and they'll put it on Xbox. Xbox is all about crossplay. So is PC. Whatever console it's on, they're all about it. They'll put it on there. But 2K, they're not gonna. They're just not gonna play PlayStation's game anymore. Like that's really where it comes down to.
All right. Final thoughts, Justin?
even with that, even with 2K not wanting to play hardball with Sony, it's because of Sony's actions that they're not going to have crossplay. Sony is the one making the call that you're not getting crossplay here. You know, yes, Fortnite does have billions of dollars to spend, but Rocket League didn't. When it got crossplay, it didn't have a lot of money. And you know why? Sony let it happen. They saw what happened with Fortnite. They saw what happened with Minecraft. They said, you know what? Another big game that's going into EA Sports. Let's give them crossplay. It's Sony's call in the long run. What gets crossplay and what doesn't.
All right. This one's hard. Dang it. You both had really good points. You're right. PlayStation has done this before. PlayStation has held the gate and has held the power and said, hey, you know what? You don't pay, you don't play. For this one, I want to think that they learned their lesson. And so I'm going with Mike, and I'm thinking that that 2K said, you know what? We don't need you. We're going to stay off PlayStation. You do you. We're going to do us. We're going to stay away. When you want us, come get us. And I think that they pulled before PlayStation could do anything about it. And they said, we're going to do us here. And Sony, it's in their court now. I think that they now get to make that call. But I think initially 2K pulled. So I'm giving it to Mike because I want to believe that 2K pulled first. And that, it's a Han Greedo situation. And we don't really know. But
it's pretty tough with Borderlands because it's a game that doesn't have microtransactions, so it's something that they're not going to be making money after they allow crossplay. No, so it's something that they could just let this little fish go and come back with something bigger.
We shall see. It'll all turn out in the end, and we'll find out what really happened. But hopefully, for the listeners out there on PlayStation, I mean, make your voices heard and say, "Hey, you want it." Like, that's what ultimately needs to happen is the players on PlayStation need to use their pocketbooks and say, you know, we want this and do it for us because we control your company because we actually pay for everything. Mm-hmm. That's what needs to happen. We'll see what happens. We never really know. On to the next one. Zelda Ocarina of Time. Come on now, my favorite game.
Jelly, by the way, there was another debate topic that I was considering, but I was just like, I gotta throw this in for Jelly because he's Ocarina.
I didn't even know this, so
this was a recent article, so it was really cool.
Zelda Ocarina of Time, listeners, my favorite game, maybe arguably of all time, had a mechanic in the game that was the portal gun. Another one of my favorite games. Portal is so fun, but it was taken out. So what is a mechanic from a game that you think would work perfect in another game? So this is a pretty open question. I'm going to ramble for just a minute while you guys think of it. And when you're ready, maybe give me a signal. But this is huge. Justin's ready. Mike, are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, I thought about this.
Holy moly!
You could rant for a little bit if you want, though.
I mean, this is just the idea of this. So I read this earlier, and I was like, "Yo, any mechanic from any game to put into another game," and like my mind just started spinning. Like the wheels just started going. There are so many things that I would love to see from one game put into another game. I'm not going to give you guys any. You already have your ideas, but I don't want to spoil anything. But seriously, like my brain just went into overdrive. I was like, "Oh, think about this or think about that, or what if I had this when I was playing this game?" And like, huge. Okay, so what is a mechanic from a game that you think would work perfect in another game? Mike, you had the Borderlands win. Justin, you're up first. If you choose, you can make Mike go first, and you can take second spot.
I'll go first this time.
All right.
So I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil, obviously. When you beat Resident Evil, you unlock a mode called New Game Plus, which allows you to, kind of like how old school games had cheat codes, allows you to have, say, new guns that weren't in the game because they're overpowered, or unlimited ammo, or faster walking. You have all your stats from the original game and inventory transferred over to your new game when you start a new game. So you're able to continue the new game leveled up. And I'm going to take that feature, that new game plus, and take it to another game that's near and dear to my heart that I've played the entire saga of, BioShock. So you're able to take that first BioShock game, play through it like everyone did, good or evil, choose your ending, and then take all of your stats and maybe some bonus effects that you didn't have access to, and bring them into a new gameplay to start over with. Feel like a real Big Daddy, and keep going through the game a second time, and then carry on through the entire trilogy like that. Sounds like it would be fun having those extra abilities that weren't available to you during gameplay, either being overpowered or whatever, making the game a little easier and rewarding players for replaying the game.
All right. I'm going to call that God mode. Mike, what is yours?
I was thinking a lot about this, and I was thinking about two games. And I just thought of this idea, and I was just like, how cool would this be? So post-apocalyptic, right? Something where it's just like a, deserted, whatever. And you just don't necessarily know where things were, whether it was a nuke, such in Fallout. I'm going to use Fallout, by the way, as my example. Fallout 3, Fallout 4, whatever. Fallout is the game that the new mechanic is going into. Okay. So what I believe would be cool is, imagine Bethesda taking a new Fallout game, Fallout 5 or whatever, and you're and you are in, like, say Los Angeles, whatever, or you're in Chicago or whatever, wherever it is, and it's a post-apocalyptic setting. A nuke has gone off. Nothing is as what it was, right? So you get out of your vault, and you're in your Fallout suit, and you're like ready to go explore and see what the world is like now, and it's a disaster. And so I was thinking about a mechanic from another game that is, as Justin said, that is near and dear to my heart. It is a game, Jelly, that you have actually been playing. And it is also the best first-person shooter campaign of all time, and that's Titanfall 2. In Titanfall 2, there was a level where you had a wristband that you can press a button, and it basically turns back time. It changes your level. It changes what you're looking at visually to the past. Now, what if we bring that to Fallout, to this like post-apocalyptic area? You have like side quests here. This is how I imagine it doing it. Like, you have side quests that you go to and you do. And like, let's say this side quest, this person's like, hey, I don't know. I like, maybe let's get a little crazy here. I don't know where my husband went. I don't know where my daughter went. And I just kind of want to have a little peace of mind. A little piece to know like what happened. And you say, okay, I have this gadget that I can kind of see what happened at the nuke, And so you go to where the person believes her husband was last. You press the button and it turns back time basically. And what you're seeing is the old version of where that was before the nuke dropped. And you could kind of see the scene play out where you're going into where the nuke is dropping. It goes off and you see like her husband like flee somewhere. He kind of gets trapped up in some rubble, and then you go to that rubble to see if he's there, and lo and behold, he's like carved out like this hole or whatever, and he's actually survived, and you find her husband for her because you were able to bring this time mechanic into this game. I think it would be pretty sweet. I think there's a lot of other applications. That's what I was thinking of. I think it'd be really cool.
Okay. So we've got God mode, and we're bringing it into BioShock. And then we've got, I'm going to call it time lapse because that just sounds like a great name. We've got time lapse and Fallout. Justin sold it to me more, Mike. I'm sorry, but God mode wins. Now
It's really about
hear
like.
me out.
Oh, go ahead, Jelly.
Hear me out. Where you failed, and I'm sorry. I liked where you were going with it.
You didn't give me a rebuttal, though. I had a perfect rebuttal.
I'm sorry, man. The Justin's was so good in one shot. Get everything, play through. When you start again, you've got it all, right? It was good. And yours was play through, but you've got this cool perk. And what you can do now is you can actually time lapse back to a point in time before the end of the world, quote unquote, end of the world. And I love the idea, but the story you put with it didn't sell it to me. Like, I feel like you could have done so much with that. And what you gave me was this lady's husband is missing.
Investigation.
He carved out a hole in a rock and he survived a nuclear blast somehow, which sounds interesting enough, but didn't sell it. And I think there could have been a really big sell point there for this time lapse feature, you know, being able to, I'm going to literally turn back time on this and I can reveal what was. I feel like there could have been a bigger sell.
Should have given me a rebuttal, man, because he just won on a technicality.
Well, also mine
Justin,
is
good job.
replayability as well.
Yours isn't a mechanic. It's a built-in system. It's not a mechanic. New Game Plus is just a new type of mode. It's not a mechanic.
Is that not a mechanic?
It's okay.
It's definitely not available to you before you play the game all the way through. So
you're unlocking a feature. Is it a
Unlocking
feature,
a feature.
not a mechanic?
It's a mechanic based. It allows you to use everything that you used previously, and then
that's what I was saying,
available.
Jelly. Like you didn't give me a rebuttal. No, give it to him, please. Like give it to him. That's fine. But you didn't give me a rebuttal. Because
the mechanic is called God mode, and it won. Good job, Justin.
Appreciate it.
it's a technicality, but I'll give it to you.
I like your idea, Mike. I think time lapse is awesome, but
I also agree it would be cool for investigation purposes.
That's the only purpose that I wanted it for too. It's because
I think if you could interact with it though, if you could have used it as a time travel device,
but you can interact with the Titanfall thing. Like you can interact with because it changes your. Actually, in the Titanfall level, have you gotten to that level, Jelly?
No, I have not.
Okay, the Titanfall level, first of all, it's like it is the best first person shooter level of all time. I'm sorry, it is.
Whoa.
It changes the enemy type. So you're in the future or whatever, and you're fighting against what are they called in Apex? It's the same villain.
Which Hammond industry?
The four-legged beasts.
Prowlers.
Yeah, the prowlers. So in the Titanfall level, you're fighting prowlers. You press a button and it switches to human agents that you're fighting. Like it switches your enemy type. It's really, really cool. Anyway,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I
humans
like the
were
idea
prowlers in the future
of time lapse.
All right.
But you could have explained a little better on the first pass. That's all I'm saying. All right, we're doing a weekly fight. Let them fight. Pokemon Diamond versus Pokemon Pearl. And Justin won the last one. So Mike, you actually get to choose pick your fighter. Do you want Pokemon Diamond's Dialga, or do you want Pokemon Pearl's Palkia? And this is a head-to-head fight, battling it out. For those listening, these are legendary Pokemons in the new Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl game.
The remasters.
They're big baddies, and they look kind of cool. Not gonna lie. Dialga, giant blue dog dinosaur looking thing.
Yeah.
Palkia looks a little bit like Godzilla.
So can you explain the fight to our listeners? Because there's a little wrinkle, because Justin and I haven't played these games before. So which way are we fighting?
You mean head to head? A physical combat battle.
Yeah, so since we have not played the game, we are fighting them. We are choosing their appearance only. Who would win in a fight?
Yes, we don't know their powers. We don't know abilities. We know nothing. Just based on what they look like, who's got it in the bag. And we're going to leave in the show notes a picture, or at least a link to a picture.
No,
if we
I'm
can't
going to put it in
there.
the video version as well, and then I'll put it in the show notes too. So if you have not seen them.
And if you got a smart device, just Google them because they look kind of cool.
Google. Oh, Justin, who do I choose? Who do I give you?
That's the real power.
The real question.
You get to choose who he gets.
I'm going to choose Palkia. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. I'm going to choose Palkia. So the reason I'm choosing Palkia is because on his shoulders, he's kind of like, he's got some gear, man. He's got some armor, it looks like, he's like, he could take a few hits on the shoulders, like, because Dialga, I imagine this, Dialga Pokemon, kind of running on all fours, charging with its head. And I just believe he could block it. But also he's got some hands. So like if he's charging with whatever is up there, his spikes or whatever, like I feel like he could just grab those and then just toss to the side or whatever, do like a Hulk and Loki thing where he's just tossing it back and forth like this on the ground and just kind of destroying. And then plus that tail looks like a little ruthless, kind of like the Godzilla tail, kind of like swing it and smack him right in the face, get him all off balance, off fours. Man, my boy Palkia has got it in the bag.
All right, Justin, tell him why he's wrong.
Well, I hear you out there, but I think Dialga is going to win this fight. I think of him more of a Brontosaurus mixed with a Stegosaurus. He's got that long neck running fast, and you're more of like a tiny arm T-Rex who can't reach things. You've got the shoulder pads, but I don't need no pads because when I run around fast, headbutt, or stomp on you with two arms, they sit on their back legs, and those claws on his feet can tear you a new one. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. And I think if you were to fall over with those tiny arms, you ain't getting back up.
All right, first of all, those don't look like tiny arms to me. They do kind of look like they extend a little bit, so I think they're a little bit longer than T-Rex. And plus, you equated your Pokemon to a Bronchosaurus. Bronchosaurus has no tenacity. They're herbivores, dude. Like, my guy is a T-Rex. My guy has the determination to destroy you and just completely obliterate you and toss you around like Hulk did with Loki. There's no chance you're winning this fight, bro. Plus I got this blade on the back, dude. I don't know what it does, but it could have stabbed you.
I understand that, but don't you see those thighs you got on that dude? You can't reach under your legs. There's no way those arms are going to reach down to grab me when I swoop in and trip you.
No, dude.
You're going to fall down, and I'm going to pounce on your head with my double horns and just pierce right through you.
No, you got those wrong, man. Because those are what we call thunder thighs. So I'm gonna grab those. I'm just gonna grab you and choke you with my thighs, and you're just down. Because I'm gonna wrestle you down to the ground. You're on all fours. If you're on all fours on the ground, you just have no chance, man. Because I'm just gonna jujitsu you, man.
It's more like Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, right? So I've got the speed. I've got the speed, and speed always wins over power. If I've got the speed to evade and pull you down, you ain't going to be able to do anything.
I don't know, man.
4 legs are way faster than 2, especially with thunder thighs.
But when speed comes into play and you're just close enough, just it's like Godzilla. Just let me get you on my hands one time, and I'll throw you like Loki.
I just worry what happens when you fall down. You're not gonna be able to get up with those thunder thighs.
That's all right. I'll just use the tail and I'll just flip up.
All right. I think I've heard it. I gotta go with my choice, Palkia.
Yeah.
I think he's got it in the fight. I think with the hands, with them big old thunder thighs, with that tail, he's got the tail to keep him balanced, so he's not going backwards very easy. He's got some sort of wing blade knifey thing that goes from the top of his head all the way back, way past him. He's got them solid boulder shoulders. Now, while I think Dialga is a faster Pokemon, I think he's a foe worthy, an adversary that actually puts up a really good fight. I think when it comes right down to it, Palkia finishes. Both of them bloodied, bruised, and beaten, but Palkia is left standing when Dialga collapses.
Bam!
That's it.
Thunder thighs for the win.
Thunder thighs, yes.
Terrible. You didn't see my Power Ranger crystal on my chest. So
There is some sort of crystalline object, but he's got orbs on his shoulders.
It's probably a diamond.
He's gonna give me the cold shoulder, and I'm gonna give him the cold chest.
Diamonds harder than pearls. Maybe that should have been brought up. Darn. Anyways, too late now. Leaderboard time. All right, top 5
Justin,
Nintendo
good battles, buddy.
consoles.
That was a good test.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a great test your might. Top 5 Nintendo consoles and handhelds. Is this either or? Did we set up an either or category? Mike writes these listeners, and I only sometimes do. So Mike, is this Nintendo consoles as a whole?
Yeah, so Nintendo consoles and handhelds. So everything. Also, I think since there's not that many, let's just go with 2 picks a piece.
Okay.
So
Justin, you are the guest, so you get to pick your 2 first.
My top 2 Nintendo consoles of all time.
yeah.
I'm gonna go with the SNES, the Super Nintendo. That is gonna be up there on mine. Played a lot of good games on that growing up, including Final Fantasy III, with a Tower of Never-Ending Death, and there was a lot of good games. Super Mario World's on there, Yoshi's Island.
So many good games on Super Nintendo.
So many. So SNES for sure, and I'm gonna go ahead and put Game Boy Color.
Ooh, the GBC.
I do love a good Tetris on the original Game Boy, but I think that with Pokemon and Fire Emblem, or not Fire Emblem, Advance Wars, I think it was. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was Advance Wars.
And then Pokemon, and there was a Tetris, obviously, and all the other games on there. One of the biggest games I played was Super Mario Land 2, Land of the Six Golden Coins. I don't know if you ever played that, but that was a fantastic game that I played in color.
Did you say a fantastic game? Was that a dab
fun? No, maybe.
You said fantastic, but we could roll with the punches.
I switched it up.
No, it was definitely good. It had boss fights. It had creative new arcs for the story of Mario. World exploring.
Mario, I believe is what you meant to say. Mario.
Mario.
Gotcha.
Brothers. Yeah.
All right,
Those
Mike,
would be my 2.
what you got?
Man, so part of me wants to pick the Switch because I do think it's like the penultimate one. Like it's just so good. It is gimmicky, like you just throw it on there. It's on the tube. The tube.
Am I filling it in? Are you telling me Switch right now? You said part of you feels like it, but it also sounds like you're not gonna go for it.
But like I like the idea of what Justin went. He went with 1 console and then 1 handheld. So I think we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna throw up the GameCube. I think the GameCube is just so incredibly underrated. I think that controller is underrated. Like not a lot of people enjoy it. Jelly included, apparently.
I enjoyed it.
I am one of those guys. I can't stand that stupid thing. It's impossible to hold. It doesn't work for crap. Everyone else is better at it than me. It's a terrible thing, and I've got big hands that don't work. I
love that controller. I have a lot of fond memories on the GameCube. Just like it's one of the consoles that I grew up with. It's the first console that my mom. It's one of the first consoles that my mom bought that generation for me. GameCube has a lot of good games as well. Talking about Super Smash Bros. Melee. You're talking about Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Talking about the Metroid Primes. Some good stuff there. So
Mario Sunshine.
Mario Sunshine too as well. So I'm gonna go GameCube. I'm gonna go with the DS Lite.
Okay.
The Lite specifically. Reason being because the DS itself, the form factor was just so much better when they brought out the DS Lite iteration. So same console obviously, but man, the vast library of stuff on the DS is just amazing. So DS Lite specifically, and one of my favorite games of all time is from the DS Lite, and that was the Pokemon Soul Silver. Justin, I'm pretty sure you have my DS Lite, the white one. Remember you bought it from me, I think, because you wanted to mod
white?
it. Yeah, you wanted to mod it.
I did.
Yeah.
All right. I filled them in so these guys can see what I'm choosing, but my console for Nintendo is the N64. I don't think it's any surprise to those of you who've been listening to the show for a while. N64 has some of the greatest games of all time. It has GoldenEye. It has Mario Kart 64, obviously the best Mario Kart ever made. It has Donkey Kong Country, which is the first game I had on mine. It has Perfect Dark, which was also fantastic, and Killer Instinct. There were so many games that I played on the 64. I have a lot of nostalgia for it. That controller was something else. I'm not saying what it was, but it was definitely something else.
And you said the GameCube controller is trash? Just get out of town.
I would say the N64 is better than GameCube in my opinion.
Oh, look at that seconded. Thank you very much.
Like
this is
the
why we
GoldenEye
console or the controller? The console or the controller?
The controller and the console as well, actually. GoldenEye is the only argument you need for that.
Obviously, although they did remake it, but hey, besides the point,
you guys
N64
are dumb if the N64 controller is better than the GameCube. I can't believe you're saying that with a straight face.
It is.
It's a better console. N64 is a better console. And then for my handheld, I'm going with the Switch. I would have chosen probably the Game Boy Color, but it's already up there because that's what I spent most of my time playing on. But I have a Switch now, and it fulfills all the purposes that a handheld should, except for fitting in my hands well, which is unfortunate. I feel like the Game Boys fit in better than the Switch does. With that being said, the Switch is a freaking killer gaming console. It is a console. Mm-hmm. It has a dock. You can plug it in. You can play it on the big screen. But when you're ready to walk away from it, you can just grab it literally straight out of its dock and continue your gameplay. It just picks up immediately where you left off. So for me, being a huge Zelda fan, especially Breath of the Wild, I can literally play on the TV, and if I want to go hang out with my wife and she's watching a terrible show in the other room, but I want to be a good husband and spend time with her, right? We've all been there. Then I just literally pick that thing right up out of the dock, continue my gameplay, doing whatever I'm doing, and I'm sitting right next to the wife, and she's having a good time watching Grey's Anatomy, we'll just say, a terrible show, and I'm sitting there playing a wonderful game. I hate that show.
House is better.
House is fantastic. ER is also fantastic, although harder to watch. But hey, it's a 90s show, and that's what we do around here. Anyways, we've got 6, and we need a top 5, so someone's getting a boot.
Yeah, I think it's a GameCube.
Honestly, I like the GameCube.
I would say the DS Lite, honestly.
I would say the
DS Lite. Yeah, okay. I would say the DS Lite.
Maybe.
I think just the DS Lite just started the DS Lite had just so much games and good games too.
Yeah. And it stayed around a long time.
Yeah, and I mean you think about the 2DS and the 3DS, you could play the DS games on there. They have so I don't know. Obviously,
but what other?
I think we cut Game Boy Color.
I don't know. I can't.
Game Boy Color was great.
That was going to be my chosen. That was going to be my chosen.
You think so? Game Boy Color over SNES?
That was going to be. Yeah, that was going to be my chosen.
Okay, well, if by our rules,
we all
it's
have
on there.
One. Yeah, we all have one choice. So we'll throw it in. Game Boy Color. It's on the list. Mike, which one are you keeping? Which one's your for surezies?
I think I'm gonna choose DS Lite because it has one of my top 5 favorite games of all time, Soul Silver. So I think I gotta choose it.
But you also have Silver on Game Boy Color.
Yes, so doubly awesome.
And I'm obviously picking N64 because hello, Ocarina of Time.
Good choice.
Now we get down to the cheddar.
So the SNES,
What is it
the
gonna be?
SNES, the GameCube, or the Switch? I don't know. I mean, Justin, do you think the GameCube above the Switch? Like, I don't know. Like,
I can't. I can't
I
put
wouldn't do that.
GameCube over Switch, but I
Nope.
could put GameCube over SNES.
I
No,
don't know. You can't. do
SNES.
that.
No, Link to the
I would
Past,
put, I
the
would put
original Mario
NES over
Kart.
SNES.
Well, that's not on the list.
I know it's not, but I'm just saying. There's other stuff I would put over it.
Honestly, we have the Switch and GameCube. What for Melee? That's good. Mario Sunshine. We got Pikmin. We got
Luigi's
the original
Mansion.
Animal Crossing. Yeah,
GameCube had good offerings. The Switch has almost all the same offerings as GameCube.
and then some.
Maybe not all of them, but
Now,
close.
both of them were technically portable because the GameCube did have a handle.
It did have a handle. This is true.
You just couldn't play it
awkwardly
on
enough.
the go.
I was about to grab mine and show the handle off. No, I think it's SNES and Switch. Like SNES
so?
is the start of so many franchises.
Yes.
Like just
Yeah,
Super Metroid, the Super Star Wars trilogy.
yeah,
the Super everything. Everything was Super on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
All right, I'm good with the
Those are
SNES
some-
and the Switch.
Those are some hard
Alright.
games, though. Star Wars.
Yeah.
Jeez, those are hard.
Games were way
back in the
harder
day.
back then. Made you a better player, though. That's why we're better gamers than the kids out today. They might be able to play Fortnite, but I don't think they could beat any of the Super Nintendo games.
No way.
I don't even think I could beat some of the Super Nintendo games. Like I'm just being real.
Have either of you
they're
beat
so fun.
Battletoads? Like the original
Battletoads?
Battletoads?
Oh, I mean,
Have you-
no, I've never
Have you
beaten
beat it?
Nope.
No, I never even played it.
Oh, difficult.
All right. Leaderboard is done. Listeners, we've got the Game Boy Color in no particular order. Sorry. No particular order. We have the Game Boy Color, the DS Lite, the N64, the SNES, and Nintendo's brand newest, even though it's kind of old, Switch. I like it. I'm super
Good
happy
list.
with that. There are honorable mentions, obviously, that need to be on here. The Nintendo. The granddaddy of them all, the NES. The fact that we don't have the Nintendo Entertainment System on here is a tragedy, a bit of one.
Not
There were
as-
Should've
so
put
It's
many
not
Virtual
as
games.
Boy.
super. It's not as super.
It's not super, but man, was it good. I was afraid
The
we wouldn't
Virtual
get
Boy, dude.
GameCube.
Virtual,
Virtual
Boy,
Boy,
get out of
yeah.
here, dude.
But yeah, I like this list. I'm happy with it. I'm glad we've got some mobiles. We actually have 3 mobiles and 3 consoles because
We
one
have
of them's a both.
2 mobiles, 1 hybrid, 2 consoles.
We got 3 of each on a list of 5, and I'm happy with that. All right, Justin, I want to thank you for joining us. Mike,
No problem.
pleasure having you back. Listeners, we love you. Thank you for tuning in and just checking us out. Please share us with your friends if you enjoyed it. Please rate us, and please head over to Patreon where you don't have to support us, but you can still get all the stupid content we give you because we're awesome. We make it free for you. Mike is super awesome. He's a great writer. His articles I get to proofread, which means I get to read all of them before you guys do. Haha. But they're all
Yeah,
super good.
Jelly is a grammar Nazi, so he's pretty good.
I am.
But I
I
don't have a
do
lot of
like that.
mistakes. I don't have a lot of mistakes.
Not many, but the articles are very good. The Mass Effect one was very good. The Tony Hawk one I remembered, which is why I brought it up, and you didn't. But that one was also very good. A really heartfelt article that he wrote. So that was nice. If you get the opportunity, go ahead and check us out on Patreon, the 90s First podcast, or the 90s
No,
First. I
just
think
the
we changed
90s
it.
first. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 90s First, and if you want to support us monetarily, as little as $1 a month. So it costs less than literally anything these days, and you could help us support content and help us support making our content. There we go. And we appreciate you. So until next week, we'll see you later. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth.